Welcome, I'm Dan Brooks, the Cast Iron Ranger, and today we'll be making sourdough biscuits. It was the staple of the 1860s. You can carry this around and make it at any time, doesn't even have to be refrigerated. It starts with a sponge, or called the starter, and it smells like beer. It's got yeast in it, but we're gonna mix this up and we're gonna make some biscuits, and it's gonna be good. All right. What we got to do is we got to take our sponge, we're going to put that out, we're going to scoop some of that out, and we're going to mix it with our dough. You need about 2 cups. All right, and it doesn't look like much right now, but it will here in a minute.
Move the thing out of the front of the...
All right. We're going to mix our flour with this because we've got this starter, and it smells... and it's alive, it's got yeast in it. Now we're going to use a couple of these and we're going to start mixing this with it. All right, this is a pretty simple recipe. I use about 2 cups and we're just going to mix it with it. All right, and we're just going to start mixing it up here. Now I will tell you that if you don't like the texture, add a little more. That's the great thing about sourdough, is you can't hardly go wrong. If you don't like the texture, add a little more. And I'm going to add just a little more because I want to make a decent amount of biscuits. So we're going to add just a little more. And we're just going to keep mixing this up. We're going to just keep folding it over, mixing it up. All right, now what I like to do is add just a little tablespoon of this. And that's all this is a tablespoon. We're just going to put enough in here to give it just a little flavor. We're going to do the same with the sugar. I've got this as sugar, the other was salt. We're going to just put a little bit in here, and I'll tell you how I cook is a little dab of this and a little dab of that. If it's a pinch, it's a teaspoon. If it's a dab, it's a tablespoon. So we're going to put a few tablespoons of sugar on here. And now what we're going to do is a dab of baking powder. That's all you need, because this is going to help our biscuits rise. That's it. And now we're just going to work it in some more. Let's just keep working it in. Spread it out. Work it in. Just keep folding it over. And we're going to do this for a few minutes now. Okay, now I've got this flattened out. And what we're going to do is we're just going to cut this up a little bit, because these are going to make our biscuit balls. Yep, biscuit balls. But that's going to be what we need to put in the Dutch oven. We're going to roll these up in about the same size balls. And then we are going to butter them up. All right, I've finished the rolls. We're going to go ahead and let them sit for about 30 minutes. We're going to cover them, get a little rise out of them. Then we're going to dip them in butter and put them in the Dutch oven. It's been about 30 minutes now. You can see our biscuits have risen up a little bit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put the shortening in our Dutch oven. That's first. That's going to be critical. We got to get a little shortening in there. And when we do, we're just going to lube up this pan. We're just going to spread that around because we're getting ready to bake sourdough biscuits. Our next step, now what we're going to do is we're going to take these and we're just going to smash them flat. See how they get a little flat there? Now we're going to take our margarine. Ooh, we're going to dip those in there, turn them over, place them down. Smash another one. Dip them in there. And you're going to leave about 1 inch in the pan, 1/2 inch between biscuits. Okay, that's the last one. There's about 9 in there. Now we're going to put the lid on, put them on the coals, and make sourdough biscuits. All right, we've got the lid on it. We're going to carry it over to the coals now. And I've already got my coals started on the bottom. Now the thing to remember is you're only going to leave the coals on the bottom for about 5 to 7 minutes, while the top we're going to put coals on it and it'll be about 20 minutes, because you don't want to burn your biscuits. I like to evenly space these coals out. And you're gonna not forget, you gotta turn your lid about every, 3 or 4 minutes, just to make that heat real even. It's been about 7, 8 minutes. And we're going to go ahead and just move this off these bottom coals so that we can still have the top cook, but we don't want the biscuits to burn on the bottom. And don't forget to turn your lid. That's going to be important too. Got to be careful of the ash, but turn that lid. About a quarter of a turn. Every 5 minutes is all you need. It's been about 20 minutes. These biscuits are going to be ready. I feel it. I can smell it. We'll just put them up here very carefully. Ooh. Everything's so hot right now. Now I want to show you this, and here's the secret. When you look at that, golden brown on top, but if you'll notice, bottoms, not burnt. Beautiful, beautiful. There's only 2 things left to do, and that's to butter our biscuits and eat one. Mmm. 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 Oh, that's good. Oh, that is good.
Thanks, Dan. If you have a recipe you'd like Dan to try, you can email him at thecastIronRanger@state.nm.us.